Welcome back to WGN's Honoring Black History Special. We're talking tonight with the men and women of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panthers, as well as activists from some of Chicago's other organizations of the time, many of them working across racial and neighborhood lines to improve the challenges they all face, as we hear from Hy Thurman of the Young Patriots.
I came to Chicago when I was 17. A lot of us migrated to the north, into uptown. It was a slum, just nothing but a slum. And there was a lot of alcoholism, just a lot of poverty. Kids running the street with no place to go, kids hungry. Everybody was hungry. And if you had a Southern accent, you were marked by the police. And we were victims of unchecked police violence. People were just scraping by. I managed to fall into a group of people on the street from the South. And they kind of took me in. Just a small group of people on the street had enough. We started going around the community and helping people. Later on, Bobby Lee of the Black Panthers, he came to Uptown, he lived with us for a while, went back and told Fred Hampton, said, hey, there's a crazy bunch of hillbillies up there in Uptown. Said, yeah, they're wearing a Confederate flag and talking anti-racism. We respected the Black Panther Party. We respected what they were doing. We respected their philosophy. We respected that they would go out there and give their lives for their community. We said we would do the same. We were invited into their communities, into their meetings. They were invited into ours. And this was how it all came about. Us getting together, forming this coalition, forming an alliance that showed that we can work together and we do work together. And the fact that we can organize people and educate them, to the need for these kinds of coalitions. And I think that just being able to be a part of that, is a big honor for me.
Omar and Jack, you were two people in your organizations. Can I say gangs? Were you gangs?
Well, the Young Lords organization was originally a gang, and then...
What made you switch?
I think our chairman, Chacha Jimenez, after he came out of jail, in jail he studied Malcolm X, and he was awakened.
That thread everywhere. Malcolm X is a thread with everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It woke him up.
As a result of that, he decided that he wanted to turn the gang around and make it a political community organization. And that's what he did. I think that the relationship that he developed, very close relationship he developed with Chairman Fred, had a big impact on him, on his ideology. And I think that, the Black Panther Party was the vanguard of the movement, so that we mirror the structure of the Black Panthers, the ideology. And I think that that showed also the type of internationalism that the Black Panthers had. They were able to identify common problems with the Appalachian white community and also with the Puerto Rican and Latino community. I think that was one of the big impacts that the Panthers had, and that goes to the history of the Black community. They have always contributed to the ideology and the movements in other communities. Yeah.
Jack, how much of a difference do you think it made in your Rainbow Coalition? Because the Black Panthers were the ones who came up with that name, the Rainbow Coalition.
Well, the Black Panther Party's 10-point platform and program was the basis of the way we organized poor white people in the uptown community primarily. I mean, basically Fred Hampton's position to us was that if you really want to help the struggle for black liberation, what you need to do is organize your own people against racism. Organize your people to join in the struggle for liberation, which is led by the black people and the Black Panther Party as its vanguard. So,
Willie, was that surprising to see all these different colors coming together, working together? I mean, many people think that's unheard of, especially now. Believe it, all these years later?
No, I think it was refreshing because I had been in the military, and that was some of the things that I was seeing through the struggle that was going on. I was in Louisville, Kentucky, where Muhammad Ali was being prosecuted because he didn't want to
go to war,
enter the military. So it was refreshing to see that we were concerned about other people and not just ourselves. That's what our history has always been. we were always willing to help other people to get their liberation while we were pursuing ours. And that's why in the monologue, I was sort of disheartened to not hear, we talked about Fred, which is great, but Mark Clark was also
Right.
killed there.
Right.
And Fred's mother, Iberia Hampton, played a very important role in that because she was a caretaker for Emmett Till when he was growing up, you know. So a lot of history, like Bobby was saying earlier, a lot of history is embedded into these lines that we see now.
Yeah, he mentioned, and you mentioned earlier, that if Fred Hampton's assassination really changed the way things.
Fred Hampton's assassination resulted in Harold Washington being elected the first black mayor in the city of Chicago. And Barack Obama heard about Harold. He decided to come into Chicago and help organize in Chicago. So he became an elected official and U.S. senator, and then he ultimately became a president.
We got to come back. When we return, the latest on history-making efforts to keep the legacy of the Black Panthers alive.